Hey, Sue, you want some soup? Hey, Victor, nice to meet you.
Hey, same here, Felipe. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing two of your films, and we're going to be screening your film Spoon at our first ever Coconut Grove Film Festival. Um, and I'm so excited to meet you and get to know you.
Nice, same here, man. From the moment that I got your call, I really got like great vibes from you and like your goal with the festival and everything. And yeah, I'm really proud to be part of it.
Awesome, man. That means a lot. That means a lot. So you're from Venezuela originally, right?
Yes, I'm from Venezuela. I came here to LA like 8 years ago. So
Hmm.
yeah, trying to make a career here as a director. I do also VFX and editing. So yeah, so that's what I do.
That's awesome. Awesome. Like a lot of my best friends are from Venezuela.
Oh, sweet.
So sometimes people even ask me if I'm Venezuelan because their accent has stuck to me a little bit when I speak Spanish. But
I can see
it's
that.
actually funny. It's actually funny. The only time I went to Venezuela was like actually during Chavez, while Chavez was still alive. It was 2005, I think, or 2006. Basically, I go to Venezuela for like 3 days, 4 days to visit some friends, and then you know how like they have immigration on the way out,
Yeah.
and I give them my Italian passport because I have an Italian passport as well, and they're like, "Give me your Venezuelan passport," and I'm like, "I don't have a Venezuelan passport," and they kept saying like, "Dame tu pasaporte venezolano," blah, blah. And I'm like, "I'm not Venezuelan." Well, cool, man. Well,
Yeah,
I
that happens so many
let's
times, man.
talk.
Like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
insane.
Um, so let's talk about your movie Spoon. I mean, I got to
Sure.
watch your movie Angelica as well. We're going to be screening your movie Spoon. Now it totally makes sense. Now you say that you have a VFX background as well, because it's very VFXy. So tell me a little bit about the process of developing the story, and yeah, let's talk about the story first. How did you come up with this?
So it turns out like my aunt she suffered from dementia and from an early age, and my mother used to visit her like many times, and she always had like these moments where she forgot totally what who my mother was, what was happening there, but then she remembers something really specific that happened 20 years ago, like so I was wondering like when I was developing this story, like how a person like that feels, and what I really wanted to capture is like usually at the end of these encounters with my mother, my aunt usually had this moment of recognition when she felt like ashamed for a moment, even though it wasn't her fault. And that's what I really wanted to capture, especially with the ending when he realizes what happens in real life. And and also I mix it with some personal stuff, like the protagonist is a little bit like my father. I am a little bit like my son, like I am a little bit like the son and stuff like that. Not exactly like that, but I think that when you get inspired by real life scenarios, it's like it comes a really truthful story because it's truth, right? You're just trying to make it more maybe entertaining or digestible for the audience and more with an emphasis on the spectacle as well. But yeah, that's primarily the goal of the story, just to be in the mind of a person that has dementia just for a few minutes,
Yeah. I guess we're giving a little bit away if people watch this
Oh
interview
yeah, my bad. Yeah.
before. No, no, it's all right. But because I have to say, I had no idea where you were going when I was watching the movie. I had no idea where it was going. Um, and yeah, when you're talking about your aunt, my great grandmother was my great grandmother, my grandmother were kind of young, so I got to know my great grandmother quite well, and she was fine. And then one day we were in Honduras, and like she got assaulted, like where this guy like stole her purse, and she broke her arm, and that kind of triggered the Alzheimer's. From like quickly after that, she went down, and yeah, I definitely remember how she at the like she regressed into those childhood memories. That's what she would remember at the end. It was those things that happened a lifetime beforehand. And I totally understand those moments of shame where, like, they recognize that they're gone. And honestly, it's one of my biggest fears in life. It's
Indeed.
horrible.
Yeah, there's no way to predict it, right? Like you can do maybe certain stuff to prevent Alzheimer, but you never know, right? Like, and I have seen like there is this amazing country musician in Venezuela called Simon Diaz. He passed away a few years ago, and the same thing was happening to him, and he had so many awards, recognitions, and stuff like that, and suddenly. Does that matter at all? At the end, if you are just forgetting everything, memories, I think, are
Mm.
the most precious thing. So that's why in the process of developing this film, like I live with my wife, we're immigrants and everything, and we have this deep connection right now and realize like, okay, yeah, if everything is gone, like we still have our memories. We have to create memories all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think about that too all the time because I have a terrible memory, and like
Me too.
like my my
She
my,
has the
my
best
girlfriend's
memory.
like, oh, remember, like remember last year went to this restaurant? I have no idea. So I call her my external hard drive because that's where it's stored.
That's a good
And
way
uh,
to go. Yeah.
and yeah, and I mean, I think that's the one thing I use like Instagram for, just to curate those moments. I'm like, okay, I want to remember this moment, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I do think about it all the time. That it's like, hey, I can't remember anything.
Yeah,
But it
that that
and
happened to
it
me before.
yeah
Like I didn't pay attention too much to photographies before. I was like, oh, if you have a moment, it's better that you remember, like you put it in your memory, right? And but then your memory starts failing. Like, hey man, I need the photos. Like you start getting
yeah
old and like, dude, I need
yeah
these photos because I
yeah
that will help me to remember. So it's a different
definitely.
process. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's also the reason I love making movies, right? We capture something that will last.
Yeah. No, that's a great way to put it.
So, okay, did you write the script for
Yeah,
Spoon?
yes, yeah, I
Hmm.
wrote it. I actually talk everything with my wife. She's the editor of the film as well, and we write together. Like we're a power couple and everything. We do VFX
It's
together in
awesome.
a professional way, and so yeah, I developed the story. We developed the story. Then I wrote it properly, and we shot it in one day. Everything because we didn't have a big budget, and just in order to save a lot of money in terms of production, we shot everything. I did the storyboards of everything, and then I shot everything with her with an iPhone, right? And so I edit all the film before, so I knew
Wow.
beforehand like which shots I'm gonna use, which shot because I have time. But when we are shooting, that money is gonna go away so fast that you better be prepared. So we shot everything before with iPhone, and in that way, I can show exactly to the DP and the actors where they're going to be placed and everything. And now I can focus in what I'm really. I mean, I'm interested in all the process, but something that really interested me is the acting process. What surprises the actor can give me, and because we already planned everything beforehand, now they can focus on just acting and not like, oh, where the light, where should I be, where's my position, where's the shot, am I gonna see my face in here? No, no, they know everything, and there's that was a great way to do it. Also because we shot it a guerrilla, so we had to like really move really fast.
Did
Like,
did you have permits? Because it looked like you shot it what, on Wilshire. I can't I couldn't figure out, was that Wilshire?
it was in downtown LA, yeah, like in the
Uh-huh.
main bank district,
Okay.
financial district there, because we used
But
to live.
no permits, you weren't closing streets, you just yeah.
Yeah, we had like free extras, which was
Hmm.
amazing because they
That's
were
awesome.
actually walking. And of course, with because I have experience shooting that way, it's not like, hey, you should take out a gun or something like that when you're shooting like that. You
Yeah.
have to be really discreet. And we
Yeah.
shot like a Monday morning in a financial district, so no one was there, just a couple of people walking. So we were pretty aware of what you could and you couldn't do in those situations. Yeah.
And not to give it away some more, but you have this big VFX element that kind of takes over the movie. Um, that, I guess, was, like when you're working with a VFX element, like let's say in a studio that you might have a tennis ball or you have a marker or something to work with. Tell us about how you integrated, I mean, how you're prepped with the iPhone, right? And how did that work and giving direction to the actor on where he had to interact?
Yeah, I think that right now in this age, actors have it really tough because with green screens and VFX in general, they have to imagine these worlds. They are not actually in there. And so, fortunately, I had an amazing actor that I worked with him a couple of times called Alex Marino, and he's really supportive, and he really made you believe that that giant spoon was there. And also, like a fun fact is that I'm like the worst VFX artist in terms that I don't recommend people to do VFX. I prefer that they do it practically first because that's like the best way to shoot it. And then if you
Mm.
can, yeah, of course, call me if you need me, or I'll do it. But in this case, it was interesting because I started doing the spoon in 3D, right? And it wasn't looking good at all. It was looking like a 3D spoon, and that wasn't selling it.
Did you start making the spoon even before you shot the practice iPhone test?
Oh no, no, I did it like then I realized, damn, I don't have a story. Like if I don't make this spoon happen, if we don't make this spoon happen, like we don't have a story. And if it looks
Yeah,
fake, everything is gonna look fake. And
yeah.
beforehand, we had like it's crazy how much it changed in the editing. But even with all this preparation, we used to have like an army of people of like the little son going to him, like pushing him to eat the soup and stuff like that. And then we're like, this is not the story. Like the story is just about the spoon. We shouldn't have like these many elements. And and
Yeah.
and and it's good to have like a that my wife and I we work together because you have person to bounce ideas with. You're not just alone in this, and she will be pretty clear. Like, this is crazy, Victor. Like, this is not gonna work. Okay, you think so? And so in this case, I was developing like the 3D asset of the spoon and everything, and it wasn't working. It looked like a 3D back 3D spoon, from the 90s or something like Terminator 2 or something like that. And then she said like, but this is a spoon. Why don't we use a real spoon? I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So for most of the shots, except for the last one that has like that liquid simulation, everything is like a real spoon. And sometimes people say like, oh wow, the 3D there was amazing. Like, no, it was just a real spoon. We had to we went back to the locations because fortunately we live really close, just to have like the real reflections of the environment.
Mm.
And we played with the scale, and we shot it with an iPhone because we didn't have like a slow motion camera. So with the iPhone, like you can get like 120 frames and shoot it in slow motion.
What part did you shoot with the iPhone?
All that is the spoon by itself. So the
All the spoon
background,
by itself. So like when you're
yeah,
looking at the buildings and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
but we did a compositing. So the background is shot with like I think our DP used like a Sony camera, Sony Alpha
Hmm.
Sony camera. And then the spoon itself, that's what it's just an iPhone shot.
So I mean, I can't remember a shot specifically, but like I do remember like looking like a low angle up. So you're looking up and you see the buildings. I don't know if the spoon comes in that shot or not, but you're saying the buildings were shot with your regular camera, but any of the spoon stuff was with the iPhone. But did you shoot the actual, like, how did you shoot the spoon? Because if you used a real spoon, how did you shoot it? Did you shoot it like holding it with a string, or
Yeah,
did you shoot? Yeah.
yeah, so we had like a stick, and my wife did an amazing job, and she put it like on a stick on the spoon. And then in post production, like, we deleted just this small part that was holding it. But like, if you see the behind the scene, it's like really funny. It's just a random person like flying with a spoon or something like that. And then
That's
when you see in
hilarious.
the big screen, it looked like that we're magicians, as directors in the filmmaking business. So that was really fun. And yeah, we did.
Uh,
Oh, and something that, yeah, sorry, go for it.
no, this was not related to VFX, but is more about costume design, I thought it's really interesting the color of the kid's sweater, the sweatshirt. It reminded me of very kind of like a Hitchcock color, something that you're focused on.
Yeah, yeah, we really wanted to that. Like that goes to also my wife. She was in when you are in this kind of small projects, like you do a little bit of everything. So my wife was the one who picked the costumes, and I just say to her like it has to be something that people can see him, that character, in the distance. Like it have to be something like, because he's the inciting incident, right? Like he's the one who is causing all this chaos in his life. So you have to know who that person is, and it cannot blend from the from the backgrounds and everything. So that was really cool. And also we learned, because we were like, how can we put soup on a spoon? It's not gonna look good. Like we did soup, we put it in a spoon, and it looked terrible, like not appetizing at all. And we realized that for advertisement they use wax. So we actually produce,
Interesting.
so it's wax and with the sound effects, yeah, you can see like there's some soup in there. But yeah,
Yeah.
like, so if you eat soup, yeah, and you see a soup in any commercial, that's probably wax in
Oh,
some way of or
very
form.
cool.
Yeah, sometimes
So
they melt it a little bit, so it's like it moves more, but it's wax.
yeah, that's what I was wondering if it was a little hot, so you could still move a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did Spoon, then you did Angelica, and then what are you working on next?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. We're working on a short film that has a feature right now in developing as well, that is called "I Have Wings but I Cannot Fly," and it tells the story of a single mother who's struggling economically. It's a little bit inspired on my own experience. I come from a single mother background, and her song is turning into a bird, like with wings and everything. And in a world where shape-shifting birds aren't allowed, so it has like this retro futuristic feeling and all of that, and with the heart of the metaphor of just letting your son have wings and grow up and just go away and stuff like that. So that, and we actually won a grant called New Narratives, that it's not going to be able to fund the whole process, but it definitely encourages us that, okay, we have a great story because we got it and everything, and so that we're developing that story right now.
That's awesome. That's awesome because of your VFX background. You have that confidence of what you can push on the development side of the story.
Yeah, thanks. Actually, it was interesting because everything started because I was developing my stories, and then I realized like, oh, I want this to be really big, so now I have to learn it. Like I didn't go to VFX school. It was more like, okay, I need this gunshot, for example, and then like I have to learn how to do it, and then I need this. So the stories were developing my VFX skill. It wasn't like the other way around. So that's why
Yeah.
sometimes you get too biased when you are, especially as a VFX, you see like renders, 3D, all of that, and you get biased, and you are not thinking in the story. So I like to
Hmm.
just put everything away and just think, okay, who are these characters? What are they doing? Why are they doing this? And then if it's something that I cannot shoot, like a giant spoon, then that's when the VFX Victor
Yeah.
comes along. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that in Angelica, you know, other than like just very maybe cool motions with the camera and then the ending, which I don't want to spoil either. Uh, yeah, I wasn't like watching the movie, you're not expecting like VFX, right?
But that's really interesting because that one has around 50 VFX shots, but they are not seen. Like that's what I, for
Hmm.
example, like from filmmakers like Bong Joon-ho or Fincher, right? Like you don't see the VFX, but that Evangelica had a bunch of VFX just
Hmm.
removing stuff. Like sometimes the background in the car wasn't matching, and we had to shoot a
Hmm.
highway and change the background, like if it were
Hmm.
like animation or something like that. So I think that's more my approach. Like the VFX should enhance the story and not the other way around. Yeah.
It's very cool. Well,
Cool.
it's awesome that you have that that knowledge. I
Thanks.
think that I'm always. It's funny. I was listening to Tim Dillon and Joe Rogan's latest podcast, and they're talking about the future of films and being able to like be part of the story and all of that. And I'm like, does that mean that for my taste, I just want to be in a diner, talking to Larry David about like the waiter? That's as far as my VR experience where I wanted to go.
Yeah, right. Like
Yeah,
when you're, yeah, now we want more like real emotions, real connections, or even like just having fun. Like how such a simple show as Curb Your Enthusiasm, that mostly of it is improvised, no VFX, no nothing.
yeah.
And I mean, I love that one as well. It is the final season is coming too, right? Like
I
you
mean,
see it.
I hate thinking final. I hate
All
thinking
right.
final. I just keep thinking like forever.
He's gonna come back.
Um, yeah. So, Victor, well, look, I'm bummed out that you can't be with us in person, but I know that we're going to have a great group of people in the audience, and hopefully, you share, like, we can share your movie to a whole new audience, and like this is very helpful too to have this online interview so people can get to know you, and even though if you won't be there, like it's still part of our growing community of Latin filmmaking and our Miami community and onwards.
Thanks. Quick question: what day is the festival?
It's January 12th through the 14th. So it's 3
12 to
days.
14? Oh, cool.
Yeah,
That's nice.
we're uh, we're screening in an awesome theater, Cinepolis, which is a Mexican theater in Walk, which is the heart of Coconut Grove. We have some great panels. We have a great opening party.
Okay, because I mean, I have some relatives that might be in the
Oh,
area, so maybe they can
no,
go.
no,
So,
of course, of
so
course. We're finalizing the program, and I'll send you everything soon.
yeah, that'll be great. And believe me, like right now we're really busy, but like even next year or something like that, we will be happy to just go if we have something else and
Oh
just
no,
be there. Yeah, we love to
absolutely,
support.
and I'll be in LA like early next year as well. So hope to grab a coffee with you in person.
So let's do it. Where are you based? Like which part of LA are you?
No, I was in LA 15 years,
Oh,
05
okay,
to 05 to 2020, and then at the beginning of COVID, I came to Florida, where I went to high school here. Um,
makes sense.
and and basically my co-founder in this nonprofit, Javier Manrique, and I like we were like, what do we miss the most about LA? And it's the conversations, talking to people who love movies, and that's why we started this foundation, and this film festival is one of the events for the foundation, just to kind of build the filmmaking community here in Miami.
That's great. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
and you know what? When you talk to me and everything, and you told me about the process and everything, I felt it like really genuine. You know, the way that you were talking, and yeah, I'm really excited to see how it goes, and yeah, wish you the best in there. And
thank you. I
whenever you
mean,
come to LA, I'm in Hollywood, so we can grab a coffee,
no,
whatever.
no, definitely, it'd be great to see you. Yeah, the idea for this is that it's a film festival by filmmakers for filmmakers. As cliche as that sounds, that's the
Yeah,
truth. So,
and that makes a huge difference, you know, when
yeah,
it's a filmmaker as part of the film festival. Quick question: how can I watch your films? I would love to see your work as well.
I'll send you some links.
Nice, yeah, let's
Yeah,
do it. Love to
cool.
hang out. Cool,
All right, Victor. Well, thank you so much again, and can't wait to share your film soon with everyone at the festival.
nice. Thank you for the opportunity. Okay, have a good
Awesome,
one.
Victor. Talk to you later.
Bye.